Welcome to my journey to our question and answer video, the one that I'm doing with Joan over at Rise and Shine Suburban Homestead. About 3 weeks ago, we put out a video, each one of us, asking for your questions. What did you want to ask us? There was only 3 things that I requested you not ask: sex, religion, or politics. Those are things that I don't discuss on my channel. So y'all all complied. Well, we are finally getting around to compiling our list and answering your questions. We tried to get to all of them. Now, some were specific to Joan and some were specific to me. And I plan on, and I'm sure she probably does too, I'm speaking for you, Joan, at some point doing a video about those specific questions. And so I'll ask right now, if you have any specific questions for me that you want to ask, put them down in the comment section and I'll add those to the list. But remember the parameters. Now I'm going to say, get your coffee or drink of choice because this is going to be long. Excuse me, my goodness. We got like 30 some questions. So I'm trying to think, is that all the housekeeping I have to do? I think it is. Let's jump on into it. We've got the name of who submitted it and then the question. So, and they're not in any kind of order. They're just, here they are. Jan N. 1952. That's a good question. What do you have in common with Joan? You're so different, but yet such the same. Isn't that the truth? What we have in common is our core morals and beliefs and worldview, I guess you could say. Those things that we bonded over, the things that we believe in the same. And what was that? Oh yeah, well, you're so different. We are. But those things that are meaningful in your life, I guess you could say, those are the things that we found we have in common. And so I think that's what brought us together, even though we do have such differences. Pumpkin Girl in 3EO. Hi, Joan. Here's my question. If you could invite 3 people to dinner, who would they be and why? None of these people can be someone you know or knew, and it doesn't matter if they are from the present time or the past. I love how you are doing this with Kim. Nancy from Northern California. So, Nancy, they can't be anybody we know or knew. That cuts out a couple people. Well, I didn't think I was going to be able to answer this question because, first of all, I don't like history. Oh, my goodness. So, I'm just going to show you I'm shallow. I don't have anybody deep that I really want to get to know and learn more about. Nobody pops into my head because I'm not that person. I don't think that way. I don't like to read that way. I didn't like it in school, never have. So it's just not my thing. And I'm not going to apologize for it because it's just me. So that puts out a whole lot of people. And I know who Joan's number 1 is. I know. So she's a lot more deep than I am. And I was telling her, I was like, I don't think I can answer that question because there's nobody I want to talk to. And I'm thinking history, right? That's where my mind goes. She's like, well, what about your boy in racing? I'm like, oh, I just said to myself, I didn't actually say it out loud today, but we were watching the race last Sunday. And my boy was up there. I was watching. He's doing some good racing. He didn't win. But I was like, to myself, I said, I wish I could go to a race and get a meet and greet with him. I would love that. Well, it's William Byron. He's a little young boy from Charlotte. And that I could be his grandma. But he's my man. He's a man. He's a young man. I love him. He's such a good, clean racer. You'll never find him intentionally wrecking anybody. He is a above board sportsman. And the fact that he's a homeboy, well, that just adds to it. So I would like to have William Byron over to dinner. I think we could have a good time talking about racing and, what he did when he's a kid and how he got into it and all that kind of stuff, which you can read about it, but it's more fun coming from the horse's mouth, right? So I'm like, okay, well, I got that. And then I started thinking, oh, well, if I'm thinking along those lines, I think I could think of maybe a couple. So I'm thinking, I want Post Malone to come to dinner. Oh my gosh. He is such a sweet man. He could be my child. But he is such a sweet man. If you see him behind the scenes, not this character, which his character, he's a mess. If you look past, what preconceived notion you have about him, his character, he's a nice guy. And he's humble. You wouldn't believe somebody of his stardom would be that way. And he would be so fun to talk to and hang out with. I definitely want Post Malone at my dinner. And then I was thinking, well, it's hot in here. Let me get this out here so it don't bother you. I was thinking there's a couple movie star actors that I might like to have. And there's one, now there's several that I like, men. But there's one that no matter the movie, one, I like him because of one character. And that's pretty much what I watch him in. This one, I will watch anything he does. And if he comes out to I'm doing this while I'm fanning. I'm trying to do that over here. It is hot in here. Gosh. If he has a movie, I have to go to the movie theater to see it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It is a requirement. You will go to the movies to see Sylvester Stallone. Yes. I don't care what the movie is. I'm going to see it. Because typically he makes the movies I like. The action movies. And boy, some of his movies can get kind of gory, but gore don't bother me. Spooky stuff bothers me, but gore don't bother me. Speaking of his new, or not, it's new, his last, was it even last year that it was on? Or the year before? Tulsa King is coming back on for his second season starting tonight. Oh yeah. So, I'm going to pick Sylvester Stallone. Those are my three. What a fun dinner that would be. Okay, Tammy Joy. I thought of another question. Would y'all share your birth stories with each child and how y'all named each child? Okay, my birth story with RJ was my pregnancy was a delight. I wasn't sick. I didn't have any sickness, no morning sickness. Now I got big as a pickle barrel. I looked like one. I was big around, like, you know how you see them old timey when they would wear the pickle barrel over their bathing suit or whatever. That's what I looked like. I was big around like that. But the pregnancy was wonderful. I thought he was going to kill me in childbirth. That was in 1986, and all these horror stories. There was no internet. All the horror stories you see on the talk shows and stuff like that about the drugs, and you hear it on the news. Oh, the drugs, they'll get into the baby, and they had me terrified. I mean, I was a first-time mother. I was terrified that if they gave me any kind of drug to help the pain, it was going to affect my child, and I couldn't do it. I'm like, no, don't you give me any drugs of any sort. I will do this naturally. Are you kidding me? I don't suggest it. I don't recommend it to anyone. Take the drugs. He about killed me. I was in labor 21 and a half hours, dying, wanting that baby to be born. They kept trying to get him turned. He got stuck up on the side above my pelvic bone, and he would not move. And they tried and tried and tried and tried to get him turned, pulled down, everything. By the time I had him, I was exhausted and I was in such pain. But you know what? I pick on him. All right, 21 and a half hours. It's a pain you forget. You really do. You know you were in pain. I'm telling you right now, I was in pain. But you can't feel it. I can't sit here right now and think pain and actually make myself feel that kind of pain. I can't bring it back. So, great pregnancy, horrible birth. Okay. Holly, not so good pregnancy, fine birth. So with her, I was sick. Oh, food made me sick. So many foods made me just want to blah. The smell of them, the thought of them, foods. I did eat things that made me throw up. I had sickness. It was not good. But when I went to the birth, she was due on a Wednesday, and they put me in the hospital on a Monday to induce. And I told them, I said, why can't we just wait and let her see if she comes? No, we're going to put you in Monday. So they put me in. Guess what? I laid there for 2 days getting induced with all these different newfangled weirdo things. And she came Wednesday. So when my water broke, it was like that. It started moving. I mean, it was moving. She was coming. She was coming. They called my doctor. He lives right up here from me, and he rode a motorcycle at the time. He probably still does. I don't know. And the hospital is 10 minutes away, if that. He's walking down the hall, and he said, I heard a baby. And I was thinking, that can't be. He said, and I got down there, and it was. So, now, that was the part of her birth that was easy. The part that was hard was the epidural didn't take. So I had 2 natural childbirths. That part, it hurt like a, you know what, because it didn't take. I think he got between the wrong vertebrae. That's all I can figure. Because I kept telling them, I need more drugs. I need more drugs. I'm feeling everything. And they're like, well, we can't give you any. We gave you as much as we can give you. Well, it's not working. So it didn't take. But when she was born, they had called him, and they kept telling me, don't push, don't push. I'm like, I'm not pushing. I am not pushing. I am trying my best to hold her in because they wanted the doctor to be there. Well, the little nurse that was down there, I can see her in my mind's eye to this day. She's telling me, don't push. And I kept telling her, I am not pushing. And she seen the struggle. And she had that little squeezy suction thing. She threw it across the room, and she says, oh, hell, just push. I didn't push. I just went, I just let go. And boom, there she was. So she was coming out whether I wanted her to or not. So that was how she was born. How y'all named each child? Well, with RJ, I knew he was going to be a boy, and we were going to name him a junior. So while RJ sounds like R and junior is for his first and middle names, he is an RJ, first and middle name. So we knew we wanted to have him a junior. That was easy. And then with Holly, I knew she was a girl. I knew both of my children. I knew it. I didn't find out until I had them. I didn't want to know beforehand. I didn't want to know. I wanted to be surprised. I think that's part of the fun. You're in the hospital going, what is it? What is it? I think that's part of the joy of having a child. Well, me and David could never agree on anything. We were arguing about it. We were just like, he would say something, I'd be like, nah. I'd say something, he'd be like, nah. So one day we're taking my niece Noelle, the one who passed. She was, gosh, let's see, how many years younger than Holly? Was she 6 6 years, maybe? No, 6 years. That's RJ. Does that sound right? Yeah. Yeah, she was maybe about 6 years old. 7 years old. Maybe 6. I don't remember. So me and her and David was going somewhere in the truck. I can't remember where. She was sitting in the middle. And we was talking about what we was going to name the baby and all this and that. And, you know, me and David couldn't agree on nothing. And she says, well, what about Holly? And we were both like, Holly? Holly? We like Holly. So Holly was her little best friend at school. And so that's how we named her Holly. My niece was Noelle. Holly was Holly, so there's 2 Christmas. My other niece is Angel. So they all ended up with Christmas names, and it was not planned. Teach, Love, Inspire 561. This is a great and fun idea. How did you both learn how to do YouTube videos and editing, etc.? I've thought about it, but it seems complicated. What would you recommend for someone who wants to get started? Well, the only way I learned is I just jumped in and learned it. I just taught myself. I'm fortunate to be a kind of person who can do that. All my jobs, I don't recall having like, okay, I'm quitting my job. I'm gonna train you on it so you'll know what to do and then you'll take it. No, I was almost always on the job learning. Get in there, do your job, learn how to do it, figure it out. So I've always been able to do that. I've been blessed with that. If you pick a movie editing software, watch YouTube videos on it. Go to the software's webpage. Watch their videos on it. Look at the reviews on it. I didn't do any of that. I just knew there was one out there that people used, and I picked it. I started out on my phone, and that soon got to be too tedious, so I picked up one I could do on the computer, and then later on my laptop. So do your research on your video editor. Now, my biggest piece of advice that I can give you is not technical. It is be yourself. Don't try to be anybody else. Whether your channel grows big or your channel stays small like mine, don't try to be nobody else. Now, you can follow styles of people, because there's how many ever YouTube channels there are? Millions? I don't know. You can't be naive enough to think there's not overlap. Like, there are people who just do interviews. That's not copying. That's okay, I'm going to be an interview program. There are people who do like lifestyle vlogs where they show you, they set up their camera and they show you doing their, I wish I could do that. I can't do that. You know, there's nothing wrong with doing that kind of video. What I'm talking about being yourself is be true to who you are, your personality, your thoughts. Don't try to be anybody else. Now, I think that's why my channel don't grow, which 5,000 people that want to watch me is cray-cray. But what have I always told y'all? I am an acquired taste. I am not something that mainstream YouTube is going for. First of all, I'm older. I think YouTube is a young people's game. I think it is. I'm not exciting. I don't have anything special to offer. I offer bazillions of different things. We've gone over that. I feel better since I've just gone to just doing what I want to do, not having a theme. But I'm myself, and I don't try to be nobody else. That's my biggest advice to you. And then if you want to do it, girl, just jump on in there and do it. I did. I just jumped on in there and did it. And here I am. As Barney Fife would say, here I am. Let's see. Grandma to Shaggy, where did you go on your honeymoon? Well, my first honeymoon, I went to the beach fishing because I was married to the biggest fisherman and hunter you'd ever want to know. But I can't throw it all up on him because I love to fish. I would love to go fishing today. I wanted to fish for so long. Now that I can walk, I think I could walk down somewhere, but we don't know where to go. It's been so long since we've been fishing. We don't really know where to go. So that's what I did on my first honeymoon. On my second one, I didn't have one. Me and David just... Mama took RJ. Me and David stayed home, ordered KFC, and just spent the night alone. Because, see, I had RJ. So we didn't have nights alone. Every now and then he'd go to his daddy, but that was not a big, So just having a night alone. And then back to work, So Connie Hulls 4523 asked, how did the two of you connect? I love the two of you, and you both are nice, honest, and totally enjoyable, but at the same time different. Well, thank you for saying that. We connected over Joan's Weight Watchers Facebook group. I joined it, and I don't even remember how we met. If it's because I started watching her channel, but then she asked me to be a moderator of the thing, and then I got to know her and Denise, and that's how we first connected. And it just built from there. We just found out, like I was talking earlier, the things we had in common, and we just clicked. We just clicked. And this, we are different. I don't know if somebody else asked me about our differences, because I don't want to answer it more than one time, but I don't know. Maybe we'll get to it. CLSMLS2. For Collab, do you still have any childhood high school friends? Have you ever been to a class reunion? I have them as friends on Facebook. I don't have a single, and this sounds terribly depressing. I don't have a single solitary friend outside my family, and then like Joan and people that I know from Facebook or y'all. I talk to more y'all than anybody I ever went to school with. We're just Facebook friends because, hey, we went to school together, let's be Facebook friends. But I don't have friends. I know that sounds horrible, but it's the truth. I don't have friends. Well, I have been to one high school reunion, my 35th, and I didn't want to go. I wasn't going to go because I had gained so much weight. In high school, I was obviously young. I was pretty. I was what they would consider normal size. I wasn't a stick, but I wasn't overweight. I was just, and over the years, as I gained more weight, and I think, awful close to my highest. Not at my highest, but I don't think I was too far. And I almost hit 400 pounds. And I wasn't going to go, and I can't remember who I was talking to. And they were like, just go. Who cares? Who cares what you look like? And you know what I got to thinking? You know what? There's a lot of people, I'll just be honest with you, I didn't care to see. But there were people that I did want to see. And those people, some of them that I knew were going, I wanted to see them. And I knew that they would want to see me, not me. And I went and had the best time. I went in all my big glory, and the people that I didn't care to talk to, they didn't talk to me. It literally was just like high school. Our crowd was over here, their crowd was over there. I kid you not. And so I didn't have to worry about what they thought because they were like non-existent in my world. They didn't make a matter to me. So I'm so glad that I got over that fear of being seen as I really was and went and reconnected with some wonderful people and had a really good time. Inez Turway, 9982. What was your dream job when growing up? What did you end up doing? Well, my dream job in high school was to be a special ed teacher. And that's what I went to college for. I could kick myself in the butt every single day that I didn't finish college. I didn't have my head on right. I had my head on in the party scene. I got out of the house. I was wild and free, and it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous what I squandered away. It's embarrassing, really. So I never got to be that. What I ended up doing, well, my gosh, not counting my high school jobs, from college on, I worked fast food, I worked a nursing home, a couple of them. I worked house cleaning, babysitting, secretary, meal work, tried to sell Avon one time, mortgage loan processor. I can't think if that's waitress. Yeah, so I did it all. Inez Turway, 9982. Would you ever at some point do a meet and greet? Inez, you missed it. We did last year. Joan and Doug was traveling to Myrtle Beach to see Adam in a track meet, and that's just a hop, skip, and a jump away from me. So they come on up through here to see me. So we got to spend some time together before they went back to New Jersey. So yes, we did do a meet and greet, and we had a ball. It was so wonderful to meet the both of them. It was just like when she came up, we did a video. If I can remember, I'll try to link it below. She's like, you look the same. I'm like, you do too. And we come in the house, and she says, well, you don't need to show me the house because I know what it looks like because she's seen it on videos, right? So we had a good time. The four of us had a really good time. Now, the next visit, I have to go to New Jersey. Sparkly. Sorry about that. Sparkly Susan 4641. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? Well, I don't get religious, but when God made the animals, he didn't make an egg, he made a chicken. And when they put the animals on the ark, they didn't put an egg on the ark, they put a chicken on the ark. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. The chicken. Jan in 1952. This one was just for me, and I forgot to take out the end part that was for me, but I added Doug onto it. It was, how did you meet David? I put a slash and put Doug so Joan would do that question too, because I thought it'd be interesting to hear how her and Doug met. Well, me and David met at work. Oh yeah, I forgot to add that. Trucking company. I was a biller at a trucking company. So yeah, I've been around. We won't talk about that. Where I sit billing, we had a long table with our computers on it, and I sat at the doorway. We had to go upstairs to dispatch, and he was a dispatcher. And when he would come through, I was already separated from my husband, and he would come through, and he was just so cute to me. And what I got first, y'all know because I've told you, was those broad shoulders. He's 6'2". He had broad shoulders, and then he thinned down. You know what I'm saying? When he was young, he was skinny as a rail. He was just a lanky little thing. 6'2" and lanky. Well, he had filled out because he was older, in his 30s. Well, We were in our early 30s, early. And he was lifting weights. So he was going through a body transformation in that way. Not kind of lifting weights, just to tone up, build some muscles. And that was part of that broad shoulders he did. And he had that pretty blonde hair. It was just so, oh my gosh, it was baby soft. He had baby soft blonde hair. And he kept it feathered on the side. Now, y'all got to know this was in the early 90s. So, feathering, we were still doing that. And he got me. And so, I don't know. I know I made the first move because as he's going by me to go upstairs, he don't stop and talk. He's a man on a mission. He always has been. When he's got something on his mind, that's what he's doing. He's going to work to get upstairs. He's going to work to get upstairs. So I started going upstairs because I used to go up there before and talk to the guys on the dock through his window because the drivers would come to his window to get whatever, their bills. I don't know what they got. No, they got their bills from somewhere else. Okay. Y'all don't have to know all that. And so I started going up there and talking to him. And we started, chatting and this and that. But he was not asking me out. And it was getting frustrating. So I asked him out on our first date. And luckily, he said yes. If he'd have said no, I would have died of embarrassment. But I'm here to tell you, if he didn't want to go, he would have said no. Believe you me. He has no problem in speaking his mind. He has a nice streak in him that he'll be, nice to try to not. But if it was something like that, he would have said no. So we went out on our first date. And here we are. We've been married 30 years. So it worked. Excuse me. It says I have 2 children, a daughter and a son, correct? Also, you have 2 grandsons. That is correct. I have a son who's going to be 38 in a couple weeks and a daughter who's 29 and 2 grandsons, Sebastian and Jacob. RJ's my son. Holly's my daughter. Sebastian's my oldest. That's RJ's boy. He'll be 8 in December. And Jacob just turned 3. That's Holly's boy. Susanna W. Gull, 4090. You might have answered this before, but I was wondering if you're still doing Weight Watchers. No, I am not. I quit Weight Watchers several times and would go back. And then I did go back here, I don't know, about 6 months ago. And then that just kind of fizzled out. So, no, I'm currently not on Weight Watchers. Average J12, Jason says, you took away the 3 topics that would get the best questions. But I would like to know if you or Kim ever got a recipe suggestion that you made and everyone in the house hated it. Were you honest with the person that suggested the recipe? I can only remember one. Somebody sent me. I don't even remember who it was. I don't remember what it was, but I know it was years back. And I made it, and it didn't work out. It wasn't like I thought it was going to be. And no, I did not tell her. My mama raised me, when you're given something, you thank them and you're gracious, and that's that. So, no, I did not. Jan N. 1952. How did you and Kim meet, and how did you become such good friends? We were talking about that up there in the Connect one. We met through her Facebook friends, and we just became good friends because we kept finding out we had more and more in common. We used to say we share a brain. We would have things that would be the exact same. We have a lot of things that happen to us the exact same way, the exact same thing. A lot of the same likes, a lot of the same dislikes, and we just kept finding them out as we would chat. We just kept finding them out, and that's how we became good friends. Donna Lawrence, 1517. What food did you crave when you were pregnant? I craved watermelon and dill pickles with all 3 of my pregnancies. But with RJ, I didn't crave anything specific. Not that I can remember. I craved everything. If I wanted it, I eat it. I didn't care. I didn't care about how big I was getting. When my taste buds got to whirling up, I got to chow down. That's how I got so big, because I ate everything in sight. So no, I didn't crave anything special with him. I wanted it all. And with Holly, I craved Waffle House's double cheeseburgers with the side of hash browns. I don't know how many of those I ate, and I don't know how many times in the middle of the night on the weekends, because David worked nights, so he wasn't home during the week at night, but he was home on the weekends. How he would go out 2 o'clock in the morning, because Waffle House open 24 hours. If it's 2 o'clock in the morning and I woke up thinking, I need a double cheeseburger, off the road he would go down to get that cheeseburger. And when he got me one, he got him one too. So he gained a little weight with that pregnancy, just like I did. She more made me sick than I craved. Life with Sandy. If you could switch places for 1 month, would you rather live in Jersey or North Carolina? Well, I'm not throwing shade at you, Joan, but I would like to stay here in North Carolina. I have seen over the years so many little rules and regulations that Jersey has placed on those people that they seem to micromanage every little thing, and that seems suffocating to me. Like the bag ban, you have to bring your own bags to every single thing you do. You can't pump your own gas. I'm like, you've never pumped gas? What? There's all kind of, and there's so many other little things we talk about it. She says, well, here in Jersey, I'm like, what? What? So there's little things like that. Plus, I really, really like North Carolina. I have a sign that I cricketed that says, I like calling North Carolina home. It's really pretty because I made a outline of North Carolina, and inside I cut out home. So it's very pretty. I'm going to make one of those for the back of my car. I just have not gotten around to it all these years later. But I do. I like calling North Carolina home, so I just want to stay here. Diane Hayes, 6261. What do you consider as your worst habit? Mine is too much screen time on YouTube. Mine is too much screen time on my phone, period. And probably on the TV, watching too much Criminal Minds, if there can be such a thing. Of course, I watch In the Heat of the Night when it's on. I watch Matlock when it's on. I know I watch too much TV, but I was raised on TV. We didn't have the term back then, latchkey child. We were just kids whose mama worked, and we had to come home to an empty house, and I babysat my brother, who was 7 years younger than me. It was just a fact of life. There was no latchkey kids to it, oh, you poor pitiful thing. No, it's just what you did. And so we would come in the door, get our snack, and sit down in front of that TV. I remember coming in to see the Flintstones. That was a big one, sitting down to see the Flintstones. And then Saturday morning cartoons. Oh my gosh. Land of the Lost. I kid you not, I quit taking swimming lessons on Saturday morning because they were at the same time as Land of the Lost. And I told my mama I ain't going. And bless her heart, she couldn't force me without dragging me out. She wasn't going to do that. So I give up swim lessons for Land of the Lost. Listen, I've always kind of been a hard-headed kind of person. But what was the question? Oh, I think my worst habit is being on my phone too much. I think we've let our phones dictate our life for too long. I'm always looking for another YouTube video to see. But one of my worst habits about YouTube is not actually watching the video. It's just reading the closed captioning. So when I'm scrolling my home page for suggested videos, not my subscription page, my home page, where you get the suggested, if I see something that sounds interesting to me, I'll stop in the middle of the screen and let the closed captions start running, and I'll start reading it to decide whether I want to watch that video or not. I don't, yeah, that's a bad habit. But just checking everything too much. I'll agree with you on that one. Informatics Nurse Bev 1538. What country would you most love to travel if you could only choose one? Well, let me tell you, Bev, nowhere. There is absolutely nowhere that is important enough for me to want to see, for me to get on a plane to get there or a cruise ship to get there. Not going to happen. I would consider going to Canada because I could drive up there and drive across. But here's the thing. I'm not leaving my country. I'm not doing it. David ain't neither. We've discussed it. There's places he would like to go, but neither one of us, we're not willing to leave our country. We're just not. And there's nowhere that, even if that wasn't on the table, I'm not going to travel any method of travel to get there. So I can't give you a country because I ain't going to do what it takes to get there. And there's not one that would make me. There's not a country that I need to see so much that I would get on a plane to get there. No. You'd have to knock me out with a club and drag me on there and wake me up when I get to the country. And then I would probably have a heart attack knowing how I just got there and how I've got to get back home. I'm just telling you. Grandma Shaggy, is there a story behind the names you selected for your children? We did that. I should have combined that with the other question. We did that in that other birth question. Janet Mara, 3235. Hi, Joan. I'm asking you the same question I asked Kim. If you could live anywhere in the world with your family, where would it be? Y'all know where I'd like to live. The North Carolina mountains. My whole entire adult life, I have wanted to live in the mountains. I had the privilege of living there for 3 years while I was in college in Boone. I had the privilege as a child of going to Mountain City, Tennessee, where Mama and Papa had built a house. Papa built it. It was beautiful, beautiful little house. Concrete on the inside. I think he might have put some paneling on the walls in the bedrooms. And then outside he did the stonework because he was a brick mason. And it sat right on top of a hill down. At the bottom was a creek. And then you had to walk back up the other side to get on the mountain behind us. So I loved going there, playing with the two little boys next door. And it was a very, hardly anybody on that road. There was a bunch of woods before you got to us, and then it was the two little boys, and then up the road was their grandma and grandpa. As country could be. They had a minor bird, and the sons, they were older. Taught that minor bird to cuss. Yeah. I'll tell you one thing it would say when you go in and say, "You want a drink of liquor?" They taught it that kind of stuff. And when you teach a minor bird that, you ain't got no control when that minor bird's gonna say that stuff. But boy, they was country as country could be. And so was the daughter and husband and two boys next to us. Country as country could be. And so I grew up in the mountains all the way until I moved back home at 23. And I love the mountains. I would consider the mountains of Tennessee, Mountain City. I would consider Mountain City just for the nostalgia of it. But really, the mountains of North Carolina. It doesn't have to be Boone, but somewhere around those mountains, not the Asheville area, not that side of the mountains, the Boone side of the mountains. But the thing is, as I've gotten older, I can't handle the cold as well. So I don't know how I'd fare out over the winters, but I'd be willing to give it the old college try. So yeah, anywhere in the world, right here in my backyard. Inez Turway 9982. What do you want to learn as an adult? You know what I've always wanted to know? Sign language, American Sign Language. I had a little girl across the way over there that was deaf when I was a kid, and she taught me the ABCs. And I never learned full sign language over the years. I wanted to. I would never go take the class. Either at one point, in my life, I couldn't afford it. I didn't have time. I had a child. Blah blah blah. There's all kind of reasons you find to not do things. And then when I could afford it, I'm like, oh well, I have this responsibility. I have that. And then when I looked it up again, a number of years back, not that many years back, they didn't teach it. But even if I found a place now when I have time to do it, I am not as agile as I used to be. My hands are not as nimble. My arms, I don't move as easily as I did when I was younger. So I don't think I would be a good candidate for doing American Sign Language. But that is what I've always wanted to know. Carol Johnson, 5087. What made you start a YouTube channel? I started it as a way to be accountable to myself what I ate. That's why I started it. And I started it just showing my music, my food to music. That's how I started on my phone. It was never meant in the very beginning to show my face, because I was pushing 400 pounds and I was like, I don't want to be on video. Because I wasn't, I didn't mind walking around town. I would walk around town at 500 pounds, which I hope to never be. And you can look at me all you want, but there was something about being on YouTube and being out there for people who could actually comment and give you an opinion that just did not appeal to me. And so I didn't want to be on camera. But then I'm just like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to be on camera. And then, my gosh, the rest is history. Here I am. But that's why. I just started it to be accountable for what I ate. And I was doing Weight Watchers. So that's how this all started. Susie Schofield, 490. When I was teaching, one of the students' favorite journal prompts was, the people living in the Middle Ages didn't know they were living in the Middle Ages. So what do you think people living 200 to 300 years from now will call the times that we are living in now? Side note, I'm making a lot of assumptions here. Well, you know what I think the times we're living in now? The social media ages. Because you think in this little period of lifetime since computers came into existence, you think of all the social media crap that we have to fish through. We got Facebook, we got Instagram, we got Twitter, we got Snapchat, we got, I don't know how many different apps there are to interact with people. But those are TikTok. Oh my gosh, TikTok. Talk about a time suck. I'm glad I quit that one. Twice a year, maybe I pop back on it. YouTube. So all those things are what is sucking our time away from us, because we're spending so much time on social media. We're getting a lot of our information from social media, which is a good thing, but then we're also getting a lot of disinformation from social media, which is a bad thing. And then with this AI coming in, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Well, I'm worried about that, because they can already make a video that looks and sounds exactly like you, and you cannot tell the difference. So that scares me. But I think we'll be called the social media ages. That's what I think. Lori writes, what year did you post your first YouTube video? How long had you been doing WW before starting your channel? My first YouTube video was in September of 2024, and not 2024, 2019. And here we are in September, And I was not thinking about it being 5 years. It's been 5 years. I've been on you. I ain't no bigger than I am at 5 years. That's what I'm telling you. Acquired taste. I ain't for everybody. And you know what? That's fine. Because the ones of you that I am for, I appreciate you being there. And then, how long was I doing WW? I started WW in April of 2018, and then started the channel September of 2019. So I had been doing it that long. Wanda Holt, are you doing WW or something else to lose or maintain your weight? Well, no, I'm not doing WW, and I'm struggling to find a plan, a method that works for me, eating wise. Now I am on Ozempic. You know, I had gastric bypass that just didn't work the way it's supposed to work. So I went to my pediatrician and told her how things were going on in my head. I can't get the food out. That's all I think about. That's all I want. That's all I do. Food, 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 food. That should have been gone. She goes, no, we can't do that. Let's get on Ozempic. So I got on Ozempic, and it took a while, and then it finally hit, and it clicked. The food noises stopped coming along. I could eat less, and it started working. Well, then that was during the period when you couldn't get it. I don't have any trouble getting it now. So if you have trouble getting it, I don't know what the issue would be, because I've not had any trouble getting it. So I don't know if the manufacturers stepped up and started making more. I don't know. But I couldn't get it, and I'd be out for weeks at a time, and finally I'm tired of messing with this, and I quit taking it. So back early this year, I told my doctor, I said, can you put me back on that? This is my regular doctor. Please. I said, all this food noise is back. I said, I can't quit eating. I can't quit thinking about food 24 hours a day. I need help, because I'm here to tell you, people are food addicts, and I'm one of them. You might believe it or you might not believe it. If you're not a food addict, you might think that's hooey. Let me tell you, I promise you, it is not hooey. Food addiction is real, just as good as drug addiction, shopping addiction, sex addiction, just alcohol addiction. Is all addiction. It is a external something that we are addicted to. Mine's food. Now, I've been addicted to all kind of other stuff over my life that we don't need to discuss. You can do all your imagination you want. But food is the one thing that has stuck the most. Even with other ones overlapping at the same time, food has always been there. Ever since I've gained the weight, and while I was gaining the weight, that was the problem. Food, 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 food. And so now I've been back on it for several months, and it's just now kicking in. I'm at the highest dosage of 2 milliliters, and so it's just now kicking in. When I started the 1, and now that I'm on the 2, last week was the first time, it's really helped me. This past week, it's helped me to not think about food all the time, not be studying on what's the next thing I'm going to eat, because I'd be eating thinking about what was I going to eat next. You know, no exaggeration. It helps me feel full the way my surgery should have. It helps me to realize, okay, stop, you're full. It lets me process that. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm taking Ozempic, all the while trying to figure out an eating plan that will work with the Ozempic to help me lose more and to help me lose period. Because I'm here to tell you, Ozempic is not no magic pill. You're not going to take Ozempic, eat all the food you want, and expect to lose weight. That ain't going to happen. I can attest to that because I've done it. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. Let's see, where are we? Diane Mullock, Joan and Kim, of all the kitchen gadgets and small appliances you have, which one could you not be without and why? Kitchen gadgets. What kitchen gadget? Well, I have odds and ends. I think one of them I know I can't do without is my can opener, my hand can opener. I mean, because I eat from cans, so I can't be without my can opener. I don't use a lot of other, you wouldn't call a knife a gadget, a good sharp knife. But my small appliances, it's a toss-up between the air fryer and the Instant Pot and the crock pot. I don't want to be without none of those three. So I'm going to bypass the part of the question that says which one. And I'm going to say which three. I can't do without my air fryer. David uses it more than I do. I can't do without my Instant Pot, which this week is Instant Pot week, so I'm working on a video for that. And then my crock pot, because there are days I need the crock pot. So I'm picking those three. That's my story, and I am sticking to it. Okay, gadgets. Diane Hayes, 6261. What do you consider as your worst habit? Oh, we've already done that one. I put that down twice. This is another one, Diane. What is the biggest misconception about you? I can tell you right now what it is. And it is because of my tattoos. This is not the only one I have. You know, I mean, I got that whole thing. I got there. I've got there, all the way around there. I got some on my hand. I got there. So I have plenty of tattoos. And I think when people see me, because I've had troll comments on here about, why would an old woman put tattoos on her body? Why do you have tattoos? Those tattoos turn me off. And I'm like, whatever. Delete. I don't need your negativity. Some of them I answer. Some of them I just delete. Because I'm like, you're not going to come back. You're just passing through. You know, just a flyby attack. And they're going to go to the next one. They just catch your video and that they just got to find something negative because they're just these keyboard warriors. But in the real world, I think the biggest misconception about me is when they first see me. They first think, oh, you're not a good person. You're a bad person. And I'm just going to say it like this. They think I'm trash. And y'all know what I'm talking about. Just because I have tattoos. They don't know anything about me. They don't know my head. They don't know my heart. They don't know my home life. They don't know how I interact with people. They know nothing about me, but they assume tattoos, we get a bad rap. And I was pretty much raised with, and it was never said, good girls don't get tattoos. It was just something that was kind of as part of what was being taught in me or ingrained in me was, oh, well, good people don't get tattoos. So I know there's a lot of that still out there. Good people don't get tattoos. Well, good people do get tattoos, and I'm one of them. I'm a good person. And I got tattoos. I got my first one, and I found out I loved it. So I kept getting them. I didn't get one last year, and that bums me out because I need another tattoo. Even though my tattoos are soaking into my skin and becoming less legible, I don't care. I love the art of the tattoo. They're not crisp. Like, you can't hardly read that. And when I got it, it was as crispy clear as you'd want something to be. Even my Sebastian one, it was as crispy clear as I can show you the pictures of the days that I got them done. Beautiful tattoos, and my skin just soaks them in. But you know what? I don't care because I love tattoos. So I think that is the biggest misconception. It's just when they first see me, and then also when they see a big woman, a fat woman, they think, oh, well, you're just a slovenly slob. You know that's what people think about us. And so then they see an old woman. You're an old woman who's fat and you have tattoos. You're just... So I think that is the biggest misconception about me. Okay, I already answered that one. I put it down twice too. Informatics Nurse Bev 1538. What is your favorite childhood memory? Listen, I'm starting to sweat. Y'all just have to watch this paper. I'm sorry. Now, Bev, you know I have a hard time with favorites. I honestly cannot sit here. Well, my memory's not good. I have blocked out part of my childhood, which, with no further explanation, was a good thing. But there's things that I did that are good memories. You know, things with my mom and my brother, things with my mama, with my other mama and papa, with mama and papa, you know, things like that. I have good memories of doing those things, but I can't think of one thing that sticks out that I'm like, oh, that's my most favoriteest childhood memory ever. I just have blocks of memories of doing things, but not like one specific thing that I can put my finger on. So I apologize for that. Susie Schofield, 490. What would your ideal day look like? Oh gosh. You'd think not working I'd have ideal days now, but I don't, because the main thing of my ideal day would be not to be sleepy, to be get up at a decent time in the morning, 6 o'clock. I'd like to get up at 6 o'clock. I do that a lot now because of the medication I take. I used to get up at midnight to 2 o'clock, and I was up. I was just doing stuff because I was up. I couldn't go back to sleep. And then I'd be crashing in the afternoon. And so the doctor finally gave me a pill that helps me stay asleep. If I wake up in the middle of the night, if like my back's hurting and I have to go in there and sit in the chair, it's not long. I'm dozing off because that pill keeps me asleep. It's not a sedative, I don't think. It's just something that he told me how to fix a certain cycle of your sleep to help you maintain it or something. I don't know. I just take it. And so 6 o'clock is fine with me, but I would like to get up, have my coffee, of course, first thing, you know, when my feet hit the floor, relax, check my phone. I just said I spend too much time on my phone, but I would like to check my phone. I like to check my Facebook memories, and I like to check to see if I have any comments I need to answer. And then if there's any new videos on the people I subscribe to. Those are the three things I like to check in the morning. Now, I'm not going to do away with Snapchat, that's for sure, because that's where I get all my pictures, most of my pictures of Jacob and Holly, because she sends me snaps. So then I'd like to do that. And then I would like to maybe spend some time in the kitchen. Maybe go over there and make and I got bread recipes. I've made recipes in my former life before I become an empty nester. I can still make them. They're not hard recipes. I've made them here on my channel during COVID. They're easy bread recipes. And if I can make them, oh my gosh, anybody can make them, because I am not a baker. Like I said, I'm not a crafter. I just craft. I'm not a baker. I just bake. So I would like to maybe go over and bake a bread for supper, or a dessert, which I don't need, but I would like to just go in the kitchen, start a little something, you know, then just kind of meander back here to the craft room with actual feelings of crafting, an actual notion that I want to craft, and just work on it, because I have this beautiful, albeit busy, craft room. I have all my stuff spread out around me. I have this nice desk to work on. I have a painting desk over there to work on. So I have room and I have supplies to do all kind of stuff. So I'd like to do that. Then maybe after David goes to bed, I might want to run to the thrift store, see what they got going on. Come home, film a video if I got something to film a video about. You know, edit the video, chill out, watch Little Criminal Minds before I have to start my supper, and here's the big one. After we eat, instead of going to bed when David leaves at 8:30, I could stay up until 11 o'clock, and I could get more stuff done. Maybe do some house cleaning or whatever, because I used to do, when I worked nights, I used to come home and do house cleaning at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't have that zest in me anymore. So I would just like to have a full day awake. No naps, no sleepy, no drowsy, no sleepy during the day. No dozing off. Nothing to do with sleep during the day. Stay up until 11 o'clock and then go to bed and get back up at 6 o'clock. So just a simple day. Nothing spectacular. Just things that I like to do and have the energy to do them. Not have any back pain. My knee pain's gone, so we can't took care of that. Not have any back issues. Nothing like that. Just feel good and do the things I like. So that would be the ideal day for me. I know it's not very deep. We've discussed that. I'm not a very deep person. Okay. Judy Reve, 2020. How long have you been married and where did you retire from? What type of job? This will be a fun video. I have been married this time 30 years. Back in June was 30 years. And the first time I was married 8 years. And then there was a few years in between. And what did I retire from? I didn't retire. I just quit. I'm not retired from anything. I just quit due to health problems. And what I did, my last job was a mortgage loan processor. So that was what I did. Regina Penty, who is your favorite singer, and do you watch old TV shows like Frasier? Well, y'all know currently my favorite singer is Post Malone. And he's got that country album out. The boy can sing anything. The boy can sing anything. And he's proved it. He can go from genre to genre to genre. Excuse me. And if y'all ain't heard his country album, do it. F1 Trillion, go do it. If you like country music. And if you don't, just go do it anyway. So we know Posty. I like me some Posty. Do I watch old TV shows like Frasier? I certainly do. And while my go-to is Criminal Minds, David's go-to is Frasier. So it's like if, like on Sunday, Criminal Minds comes on, and it's on like from 3 o'clock till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, we'll watch the race, but then we'll turn it to Criminal Minds. And when I go to bed, he turns it to Frasier, and it's both on Paramount. Well, if I'm watching on Sunday, it's on TV, but then he turns it to Frasier on Paramount. But then when Frasier's on TV, he turns it to Frasier. But I watch Frasier, I watch Friends, I watch Matlock, and then Heat of the Night. I love those. And I watch Roseanne, and I watch sometimes Murder, She Wrote, and I watch, I know there's some more stuff I watch because I'm very big on TV. I can't think right off the bat. But yeah, we watch the older TV shows. We like those. Oh, here's our last one from Smoky Cat 100. Have you ever served on a jury trial? Well, yes, I have. It was many years ago. Me and David hadn't been married long. And it was a robbery trial at Food Line, which is a local grocery store. It's around the southeast, I think, now. And when they pick you to be a juror, they ask you all kind of questions. They dig into questions that you wouldn't think they would ask. But boy, them lawyers, they get to it. So they get to me. I already know it's robbery at a grocery store. What do you do? What does your husband do? Blah, 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 blah. Tons of it. So they get to what my husband does. He's a truck driver. Oh, he's a truck driver. Does he work for a Food Line? No, he doesn't. Does he work for any grocery store? No, he doesn't. Does he, what does he haul? He hauls just different stuff. Just, a variety of things. Is there anything he hauls that's for a grocery store? No, there isn't. He's delving deep into it. Do you have any problems finding anybody guilty? No, which I do deep down, which I know it was my duty. I should have said, yes, I do, but I was being honest, No, I can be which, I mean, I have trouble determining somebody's guilt or innocence, but I know that I can be fair. So I know I can be fair. That's has gotten me in trouble in the past because I'm fair. It is what it is. So we go back, and I'm here to tell you that boy was as guilty as sin. But we had to find him innocent because they did not present proper evidence that proved beyond a shadow of a doubt it was him. We just couldn't do it. And I got to be the jury foreman that got to say, we find him innocent. Wasn't that exciting? So, yeah, and that's the only jury trial. Knock on wood. That's the only jury trial I have ever been on. Hope I don't get on anymore because I really don't like taking somebody's life into my own hand. But the only good thing about it is I will be fair. I will not say somebody's innocent just because somebody else on the jury is. If he's guilty, I'm gonna say it, and I'm not gonna say he's guilty if he's not. If all the other ones on there are saying he's innocent and he's really guilty, I'm gonna say it. He's guilty, or vice versa. So that's the one thing I do have to offer to a jury trial. Well, that is it. So what do you think about that? How about that? You like those questions? You like those answers? I don't know if I like my answers or not, but they're honest. So I can give you that much. But anyway, if you have any questions specifically for me, put them down in the description box below. Do not forget to go over and watch Joan's video. She will be reading the exact same questions in the exact same order. So you can compare her answers to mine. And I'm telling you, there's going to be some that are the same and some that are way different, because I always say, okay, well, that's the northern way. This is the southern way. You eat northern, we eat southern. You talk northern, we talk southern. So we have those differences, but it's interesting. It's interesting. She interests me, and I think I interest her. I might be speaking out of turn. I don't know. But it's like I say about me and David. I've always said we have enough in common to make it work and enough different to make it interesting. That's me and Joan. We have enough in common to make the friendship work, and we have enough different to make it interesting. It is interesting. We have a fun relationship. I truly treasure her relationship, and I trust her. That's my biggest thing in a friend. And it sounds bad. She's not my only friend. She's my biggest friend. I have a lot of y'all that I'm friends with. But I have to trust you. And if I don't trust you, if you ever do anything to break that trust, I'm done. So that's if I find out. Which I know she don't do nothing like that to me. I'm just giving you, that's an extra answer to a question that was not asked. So anyway, that is all I'm going to give you for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you when I see you.